When it comes to concept cars evolving into production models, most tend to lose their magic in translation. The bold lines, futuristic silhouettes, and extravagant detailing that wow crowds at auto shows rarely survive the transition from design studio to dealership floor. But every once in a while, a manufacturer takes a gamble, preserving the essence of its showpiece for the open road. The third-generation Chevrolet Corvette, known affectionately as the C3, was one of those rare cases. Its DNA can be traced directly back to the legendary Mako Shark II concept, a Bill Mitchell masterpiece that previewed the Corvette's future. Sleek, sinuous, and unapologetically American, the C3 took that vision and made it real, creating one of the most instantly recognizable sports cars of the 1970s. The 1974 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray showcased here perfectly embodies that era's flair. With its sweeping curves, long hood, and short rear deck, this car was designed to look fast even when standing still. Concealed pop-up headlights and flowing fenders gave it a sculptural presence that few cars could match. The lineage of that design would influence every Corvette generation that followed, from the aggressive C4 to the aerodynamic C8 we know today. But while newer models may boast more horsepower or technology, there's something deeply special about this vintage Stingray, especially one with just 25,591 miles on the clock and documentation to back it up. It's not just a car. It's a rolling time capsule from an era when muscle met style in its purest form. Dressed in a stunning deep red finish, this particular Stingray commands attention the moment sunlight hits its fiberglass skin. The paintwork gleams with a richness that complements the bold lines of the C3's bodywork, while its rally wheels, wrapped in BF Goodrich tires with raised white lettering, complete the authentic 1970s performance look. The removable T-top roof panels, painted to match the body, offer the best of both worlds. Convertible freedom when you want the wind in your hair and coupe comfort when you prefer an enclosed cabin. It's easy to imagine this car cruising down a coastal highway, the exhaust note echoing off the guardrails as the sun dips below the horizon. Inside, the car offers a delightful contrast between performance intent and period luxury. The black interior remains beautifully preserved, with inviting bucket seats and a driver-focused cockpit that exudes classic American charm. The thin-rimmed three-spoke steering wheel, proudly displaying the crossed flags emblem at its center, feels more like a relic of a racing era than a mere control interface. It's connected to a tilt-adjustable column, allowing drivers to find their ideal position behind the wheel. Air conditioning keeps the cabin cool when the T-tops are sealed, while a discreetly integrated Bluetooth sound system brings a touch of modern convenience without compromising the car's vintage aesthetic. Everything inside this Stingray feels purposeful yet indulgent, like a machine designed not just to perform but to be experienced. Of course, what truly defines any Corvette is what lies beneath its long, tapering hood. Powering this 1974 example is Chevrolet's venerable 350 cubic inch, 5.7-liter, small block V8, an engine that has become the stuff of legend among enthusiasts. Mated to a 4-speed manual transmission, it channels its muscle to the rear wheels with the aid of a Posey traction differential, ensuring that all that torque translates into motion rather than tire smoke. Power-assisted disc brakes provide confident stopping ability, while a recently installed power steering system offers the kind of maneuverability that makes this classic genuinely enjoyable on modern roads. Service records accompany the car, underscoring the meticulous care it has received throughout its life. Driving a C3 Corvette is a uniquely American experience. There's the unmistakable burble of the small block V8, the tactile engagement of rowing through the gears, and the way the car hunkers down when you push it through a corner. It's not about lap times or 0 to 60 bragging rights, it's about connection. In a world of increasingly digital driving experiences, the Stingray's analog character feels raw and refreshing. Every vibration, every click of the shifter, every whiff of gasoline and warm fiberglass reminds you that this is mechanical art in motion. Today, the 1974 Corvette occupies a fascinating space in the collector car world. It bridges the gap between the raw, chrome-drenched muscle of the late 60s and the more refined, efficiency-minded performance cars of the late 70s. It was the last model year to wear the Stingray badge in its original form before emissions regulations and fuel crises began to reshape the automotive landscape. Owning one is not just about nostalgia. It's about preserving a piece of design history that still feels bold and alive decades later. This particular example, with its low mileage, pristine presentation, and tasteful updates, stands as an exceptional representation of the C3 generation. It's a car that can be proudly displayed at a show, effortlessly driven on the weekend, or simply admired as a sculptural icon of American automotive design. Few cars from the 1970s embody such a balance of performance, style, and cultural resonance. The 1974 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray remains a testament to an era when passion ruled the design studio and every line told a story of speed, power, and freedom. When it comes to concept cars becoming reality, few stories are as satisfying as that of the Chevrolet Corvette C3. Born from the dreamlike lines of the 1965 Mako Shark II concept, the C3 didn't just borrow inspiration, it carried the very spirit of that show car onto the streets. While many concepts of the era existed solely to tease future design direction, the Mako Shark II was a direct blueprint for what would become one of the most iconic American sports cars of all time. The third-generation Corvette represented a leap forward in both design and attitude, reflecting the bold, ambitious spirit of 1970s America. A time when style was as important as horsepower, and a car was as much a statement as a mode of transportation. The C3 Corvette arrived at a turning point in automotive culture. The muscle car wars were waning, emission standards were tightening, and the world was beginning to view speed through a more cautious lens. Yet, Chevrolet managed to infuse the Stingray with an intoxicating mix of performance, elegance, and showmanship that made it feel both powerful and glamorous. Its long, flowing hood and dramatic curves didn't just catch the light, they commanded it. The silhouette alone was enough to stop traffic, with an aerodynamic shape that felt futuristic for its time. It was the kind of design that looked fast even when standing still, echoing the exotic lines of European competitors while remaining distinctly American in soul and stance. Our featured example, a 1974 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, is a remarkably preserved slice of that golden era. Showing just 25,591 miles since new, it stands as a reminder of how beautiful time can be when treated with care. From the tip of its pointed nose to the slight flick of its rear fenders, every surface speaks of an era when design was tactile, emotional, and daring. The deep red finish gives it an unmistakable presence, a bold yet timeless tone that perfectly suits its sculpted form. In sunlight, it radiates warmth. Under the glow of streetlights, it glimmers with quiet menace. This is a car built not just to be seen, but to be remembered. Those who have spent time around a C3 know that its presence isn't just visual, it's physical. The removable T-top panels, finished in matching fiberglass, transform the car from a coupe to an open-air cruiser in moments. The smell of the interior, the soft creak of the seats, the subtle vibration through the steering wheel, it's all part of the sensory experience that only a vintage machine can provide. Slip into the cabin, and you're immediately greeted by a beautifully preserved black interior that feels both comfortable and commanding. The driver-centric dash wraps around you like a cockpit, filled with analog gauges and switches that carry the tactile charm of the 1970s. The three-spoke steering wheel, thin-rimmed and elegant, centers the driver in the experience, while the crossed flag's logo reminds you of the Corvette's racing lineage. Even in stock form, the C3 Corvette was a car that blended luxury and performance seamlessly. Air conditioning ensured comfort on hot days, while modern touches, like the Bluetooth-enabled sound system discreetly fitted by the current owner, allow this classic to coexist comfortably with contemporary life. It's a thoughtful upgrade that maintains the car's originality while adding just enough convenience to make it enjoyable on long weekend drives. Pop the hood, and the essence of American performance greets you. The 5.7-liter 350ci small block V8 remains one of the most celebrated engines of its time. Known for its reliability, tunability, and unmistakable soundtrack, the small block gave the Corvette a throaty rumble that could send shivers down your spine. In this car, power is delivered through a 4-speed manual transmission, a must for purists who understand that a Corvette should be shifted by hand. The mechanical click of the shifter, the engagement of each gear, and the surge of torque as the car rockets forward combine to create a visceral connection that few modern vehicles can replicate. The C3's engineering went beyond brute power. Chevrolet equipped it with four-wheel power disc brakes for confident stopping and a posi-traction rear differential to maximize traction during spirited driving. The current owner's addition of power steering makes this particular car more enjoyable on modern roads, offering a balance between classic feel and practical drivability. Every element has been maintained with care, and the available service records tell a story of responsible stewardship. A car cherished, not merely owned. But perhaps what makes the C3 so enduringly beloved isn't just its performance or design, it's its personality. The car exudes charisma. There's a kind of theater in driving one. The way the headlights flip up with mechanical precision, the way the hood stretches endlessly before you, the way pedestrians stop mid-step just to watch it pass. The Stingray was never a subtle machine, and that's exactly why it became an icon. It was built during a time when American cars dared to be bold, when excess was celebrated rather than hidden, and when driving meant feeling every vibration, every shift, and every heartbeat of the engine beneath you. On the open road, the 1974 Corvette Stingray still feels alive. The V8 burbles with confidence at idle and growls with purpose under throttle. The suspension, while soft by modern standards, glides over imperfections with grace. There's a rawness to the experience that connects driver and machine in a way modern cars, with their layers of electronics and driver aids, often can't. The C3 demands attention and rewards skill. It's a car that makes you drive rather than simply steer. Today, this generation of Corvette is finally receiving the recognition it has long deserved. Once overshadowed by its predecessors and successors, the C3 is now being celebrated for its distinct design language, its blend of 1970s flair and muscle car roots, and its role in keeping the Corvette spirit alive during a time of great change in the automotive world. The 1974 model, in particular, stands at a crossroads. It retains the classic Stingray name, the chrome-free design, and the unmistakable lines that would define a decade. To own a well-preserved example like this is to own a piece of rolling Americana. It's not merely a collector's item, it's a sensory time machine. Every sound, every curve, every gleam of red paint carries with it the optimism of an era when the open road promised freedom and adventure. The 1974 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray isn't just a car. It's an experience, a symbol, and a reminder that true style never fades. It simply matures.